Hi there. So in this video, I want to take a few minutes and give you an overview of what a strategic plan can look like. Now I'm going to share some plans in the software and share some plans that have been graphically designed. So by the end of the video, you have a really good understanding of some different formats of what your simple and practical strategic plan can look like. Now, all of these plans have something in common. There's only two sections, and we create as a core of all the plans that we help our customers create is a two-section format. Makes it easy to communicate, makes it easy to understand, makes it easy to document. And so these two sections for all these plans are what we call our compass and our actions. Now, the compass section, like a compass, provides you with overall direction, and that's where these types of elements live: the mission and vision statements, some core values, etc. Now, mission and vision here is highlighted in red or red font here because that's the one section of the compass, the one element of the compass that is somewhat non-negotiable. You need a mission and vision to give you and your team overall direction. These other elements you can include or not include based upon the maturity of your organization and so on. And the samples that I give you will show you different ways of approaching that. Now, the compass, whereas provides you with overall direction, long-term overall direction, the actions are what you're going to do, the actions that you'll take that take you in the direction of the compass. And the core or the heart of this are the goals. So this is where you do the work that takes you in the direction of the compass. Now, there's a logic to how this is set up. The action items are several hour to several week tasks. There's very simple actions that you'll take that will help you complete your goals. And then when you complete your goals, they help you satisfy, ideally, a multi-year vision for a focus area. Now, a focus area could be fundraising, could be board development, staffing, could be a capital campaign, any sorts of large area focus of your organization. So the logic here, again, is the focus areas will have some multi-year vision for what that focus area will look like, what your board will look like in 3 years, or your staff structure, or whatever. And then some goals over the course of several weeks to 1 year. And then key action items that are could be several hours or multiple weeks. And that's the hierarchy of how those all work together. So this is the work that you'll do in pursuit of the compass. And you'll see the structure play out when I share the plans with you. So the plans that I'm going to share, there are 3 of them that are in the Mission Met Center software. And these are all fictitious. These 3 plans are fictitious. The first one is for an organization called Green Words. It's got a couple of staff persons and a $250,000 annual budget. Ohio Food Bank Network has 12 staff persons and a $2.5 million annual budget. And this is an association here that's got 7 staff persons and an $800,000 annual budget. And so there's one differentiation in this association plan that I want to highlight. And that's why we have this here in the list. And then I'll also share with you 2 graphically designed strategic plans, really beautiful plans that you can share with your funders and stakeholders. So let's go ahead and jump in then to the first plan, which is Green Words. So as I just shared with you a moment ago, this is a small organization, 2 staff persons and a $250,000 annual budget. And you'll see here the basic structures is a 3-year plan. And this is year 1. So the idea is you have a long-term, in this case, 3 years of a plan, but then it gets reviewed and revised on an annual basis. So this would be 3-year plan year 2, next year, and so on. And then you've got a couple of plan champions here. Selena and Julia are listed as the plan champions. So right off the bat, you know that this is a dynamic plan that's going to be ongoingly, if ongoingly is a word, it's going to be updated on a regular basis. And you have some people in the organization that we know are making sure that the overall plan is the overall plan and the overall planning process has got some legs to it. In this case, a very simple plan. They have a mission and vision here, and then section 2, mission and vision are part of the compass, and then section 2, our actions have 4 focus areas: board development, programmatic effectiveness, fund development, and strategic planning. Now, as I shared earlier, there's a logic to each of these sections here. First of all, there's a vision, a 3-year vision. So they're basically saying that within 3 years, our board is going to look like this. And then we've got a champion and 3 team members. So these people are ensuring that anything that lives within this board development focus area is going to be addressed. And then as I open this up, you'll see there are 3 goals within this particular plan. So roles and responsibilities goal, an advisory council goal, and a recruitment goal. And so these three goals each have champions and key team members. So we have some people responsible or accountable. And then we've got a start date and a due date for each of these. And then we have the ability to measure and track progress based upon wherever the people feel like the plan is, as well as some different percentages, whatever is appropriate for that particular goal. So the idea here now is we've got some nice accountability with due dates. We can measure and track. We've got people that are responsible. Everything's simple. It's very specific and measurable. And each of these goals can be broken down further into action items. So here are 3 short-term action items with people responsible and due dates. So this basic logic that I shared with you earlier around the action items supporting the goals, which support the focus areas, plays out here. You have a set of action items that support a goal, and then the goals all support the vision for that particular focus area. And that's the logic that applies to all of these different plans that I'm sharing with you. One of the benefits, and I'll just highlight this feature, each of these have start and due dates, and you can see the way that this particular plan is laid out is you can see how the plan has a nice flow from January of 2022 to the end of the year. So it hasn't the goals are sort of allocated and broken up over time, and so you can kind of see the time frame that everybody's going to be addressing each of these particular goals. So this particular plan has 8 goals. There's 3 goals here. If I open this up, we have 2 more goals here. We have 2 goals here and 1 goal here. So there's 8 goals total. Really simple, easy to manage and plan with. Everybody's responsible for different elements and their start and due dates for everything. Very straightforward, and that's an appropriate plan for an organization of a couple of staff persons and a $250,000 annual budget. So a little larger organization, or a lot larger organization actually, the Ohio Food Bank Network, the same basic structure. So nothing really changes here other than just the depth of the plan. So whereas the Green Words plan had 2 elements and only a mission and vision, the Ohio Food Bank Network has a mission and vision, but they've also got a set of core values, some 1-year strategic priorities, a link to an equity, inclusion, and diversity statement, and some key metrics that they're measuring for some overall metrics that are important to them. So you can see how the compass, just because it's a larger organization, in this case, this is a $250,000 organization with 12 staff persons, they have a little bit more in-depth compass to give them direction. So you can see how this changes as the organization goes through its different life cycles. But the basic structure up here, it's a 3-year plan, and year 1 is what this particular plan is. You've got a couple of people that are this plan champions, so all of that is the same. And then down here in the action section, you've got 5 focus areas, not 4, but it's still a relatively small set of focus areas. And they have the same basic structure with the 3-year vision and a set of goals and some action items. So nothing really changes down here in the action section for the structure. The idea really is that this plan, the compass is a little bit more involved. What's interesting actually is as we've worked with organizations over the years, the focus, the section 2 often becomes even more focused. So they only have maybe 3 focus areas instead of 4 or 5 for a newer organization, which are trying to do a lot of different things on all fronts. But more mature organizations tend to actually limit their number of focus areas. That's not unusual. That said, I'm going to go to the third plan here. So this plan is for an association. And what makes this plan different is down here in the second section around the actions. Each of these focus areas here are actual committees. So there's a membership committee, an advocacy committee, governance committee, and so on, finance and events. So many membership organizations have a much larger board. They have a lot of people involved, and they really want to engage a wider set of people. And so rather than some just generic focus areas that might apply to all elements of the organization, what they do is they set their focus areas up to be analogous to committees, and then they use the strategic plan as a way to capture and document the work of their committees. So here's a 4-person committee here, here's another 4-person committee, and so on. And this committee has their set of goals that they're working on and their specific action items. So same structure, but what's nice about that is they have an opportunity to really leverage the strategic plan as a place to capture and document the work of their committees. And a lot of our customers do that are associations. It's a real nice way of setting that up. In the compass, they have a mission, vision, and values, and they just happen to put the key metrics at the top of the compass just to highlight that for the board. So same basic types of elements as you had in the Ohio Food Bank area, but they've just sorted it slightly different, but it's the same basic idea. Okay, so those are 3 plans in software, and hopefully you have a good idea of the core idea of the compass and the actions. Now I'm going to share with you 2 organizations in a graphically designed plan, and these are actually real organizations, so these are real documents. This first one is for the Bayview Merchants Association, a merchants association in San Francisco. And this is a strategic plan overview. So this is a really high-level 8-page document. It does not go into very much depth, but it just is the type of thing that they can share with their stakeholders and funders to give, or whomever on their team, even their members, to give them an idea of the strategic direction of the organization. There's an executive summary, a welcome letter from the president, the mission and vision, and a very brief summary of each of the 3 focus areas. Lots of nice graphics in here. You can see the strategic planning committee team. The president of the organization wrote this particular letter. And you see vision and mission here, and then some very brief summaries of each of the 3 focus areas. So they aren't going into any detail with the goals. It's just a real nice high-level summary. They call it a strategic plan overview for this particular organization. A more in-depth plan, City Surf Project, an organization that provides surfing and outdoor experiences to inner-city youth. And so you can see this here is the staff listed, board of directors, and a much more involved table of contents with some key metrics listed, a DEI statement, and their focus areas. And this is a 24-page document, which is quite long, but it has lots of really lovely photographs. It's very picturesque. They have a picturesque nonprofit, kids in the ocean and everything. So it's a really nice organization to capture a lot of really great graphics. But you can basically see as I scroll through here, the different elements that they have in their particular plan, and this is something that would allow them to share this with their audience. So I'm not going to go into all the details with that. You do have access to a link to see and review each of those 2 plans, as well as links to take a look at each of these 3 documents, so you can take a look at these in greater detail as you see fit. But that's an overview. Hopefully you see the simple logic of the 2-section plan, the compass and the actions, and how that's easy to communicate and easy to understand, and will help make strategic planning a lot easier and more effective for you and your team.